Welcome everybody, it is Crypto Moose and it's time to get loose. Mitchell Bouchard, your crypto and NFT investor. So as you guys saw in the title, Midnight has finally launched their white paper. So on top of that, we've got some news on the allocation, so where the night tokens and how dust tokens going to work and more. So if you guys get something out of this, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below if you would like to watch a complete tutorial when the time comes. So a couple things to mention before we get started. So right now you are not able to claim your night tokens. Okay, so this is for the Midnight blockchain. It's a privacy focused partner chain to Cardano. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But just keep in mind, while we're going through this video, this is not going to be available yet. But I do have thoughts on that. So stay tuned towards the end of the video. I want to give you guys my thoughts on when I believe we're going to be able to begin the claim process. Okay. So if you guys also have not already, subscribe to the channel. But ultimately watch the Lace video. So I just did a Lace tutorial, basically how to send, receive, what else? How to stake. And I plan on doing a lot more content around Lace because that's the premier wallet. And you're going to want to have a Lace wallet if you have Cardano. So let's dive right in. This has just been released, this information. So for those of you that don't know what Midnight is, we'll just read the description. It's an innovative new blockchain empowering groundbreaking apps that safeguard sensitive commercial and personal data. Testnet is now live. So Midnight Network, it is a new layer 1, and it's going to be the biggest airdrop, and it's going to be a multi-chain airdrop. We'll talk about details here in a minute. And I've done other videos regarding what is Midnight. So head over here. And all you're going to do is type in Midnight. So free airdrop. And I have other videos like what is Midnight. I've done interviews with Ian Keynes. So perhaps when we do get into the actual white paper, I would love to have Ian on and actually go over that with us. So, he's a big key factor when it comes to Midnight. So he would know a lot more than the Moose here. So definitely something to take a look at. But this was the post. So the Midnight Tokenomics Paper is live. A new chapter begins. So designed for sustainability, built with privacy, and engineered for real world utility. So we're going to open this up, and I do have things structured a little bit. So if we go to this link, it's this one up here. So we're just going to go to the Midnight website. It's midnight.gd. And let's take a look at my notes here. So that's what we're going to go through. So we already went over Midnight, a little bit of what it is. But most of you are going to be excited because you are going to get a free airdrop. And if you have tokens on other blockchains as well, you're also going to be eligible. And we'll talk about the specifics here in a minute. So the first thing that I want to get into right now is the multi-phase token distribution. So let's get into that. So it's already up on the screen. So the free multi-phase distribution of night tokens is aimed at empowering a broad, diverse community to build the future of Midnight. Okay. So I like this. So multi-phase token distribution, we have a little bit of info here. So night token allocations will be granted for free to eligible participants through a multi-phase token distribution. So no purchase is involved. The distribution will consist primarily of 3 claim phases and a redemption period, giving a broad community of users multiple opportunities. So I like that. So you will have plenty of time to claim your tokens. When the time comes, I'm going to do a separate video. So I did take in all this information and decide how I'm going to structure these videos, right? So, it does take time to do. How am I going to film it? Am I going to have to edit it? I'm deciding to do this all in one shot because it makes it a lot easier, especially with just news. So I like this a lot, and we have some visuals. So we do have a little bit, and if we zoom in here, the moose can get loose here and zoom in. Let's go, moose. So here we have a claims on the left and redemption on the right. And I did talk about that previously, where I'm like, I think you're going to have to claim your tokens. Now, if you hold your crypto, meaning for most of you on this channel, if you hold Cardano on a centralized exchange, I mean, I've been talking about it for a while, you have to get it off. So with the Glacier drop, it seems like you have to choose your origin address. Now, you might be able to connect or choose your origin address if you have your public address. Maybe you can connect it somehow through Coinbase if you have it there. But I would, if I'm betting, I would think that you would have to set up a Lace wallet. So another reason why I did the Lace video, for any of you that want to set up a wallet, guys, like set up a Lace wallet. You want to have a hot wallet, a non-custodial wallet. Let's just open it up right here, if I even have it on here. I've been doing tutorials, so I've been deleting, opening up wallets. So this is the Lace wallet. It's a Chrome extension wallet. Yeah, so I have to finish this stuff up because I just did a tutorial. But anyways, I did a full tutorial on that. I'm going to add it to the link tree, etc. But if you guys go to the homepage under videos, let's just go under videos. It's the latest video. Lace Wallet Tutorial 2025, okay? So getting into this even more, I really like this. So choose an origin address, choose a destination address. So if you plan on receiving your Midnight, in this case, you would get night tokens. We'll talk about that in a second. You want to set up a destination address. So again, maybe if you have your tokens on an exchange, you might be able to somehow prove your ownership and then have it sent to your Lace wallet or a non-custodial option, right? Accept terms and conditions, sign and complete claim. So once you do that, then you can see your allocation. As of right now, you cannot claim. So participants claim their token allocation by demonstrating they meet the eligibility criteria for each phase, okay? So this is done in phases to claim. We'll get into that. So redemption. Claimants, man, it sounds like the moose has turned into like a terrible lawyer. Claimants, if I'm your lawyer, okay, and you did something wrong, and I have to defend you, you're cooked. Like you're cooked. Like it's over. I cannot defend you in the court of law, okay? The moose just doesn't have that with them. I can pretend to be smart, in the courtroom. I could be like, my client did nothing wrong, but then I have to prove it, and it wouldn't be a good thing. So claimants then redeem their tokens as they thaw. So thaw is just unlock during the redemption period, thus transferring their tokens to their destination address. Okay, so it looks like quite a few tokens here. I hope the moose gets at least 1,000 nights. Like I've been buying the dips of the dips of the dips, so it's got to happen, right? 0 night, so really cool. I like this a lot. So here it looks like it's the same address. So they're connecting a wallet and redeeming. So really cool. Again, I think you're just going to go to a website, probably the Midnight website, and then claim, okay? So we've gone over that. What else? So multi-phase token distribution. We have so much info to go over. So token allocations. This is what you guys want to get into for sure. So the allocation of night token supply will follow the 3 claim phases below. Community participation levels during each phase will determine allocations towards core network. What is that? Constituents. So claim 1, the Glacier drop. We've been talking about this forever. Up to 100% of the total supply claimable by eligible Glacier drop participants in proportion to tokens held across key networks as per token breakdown below. Unclaimed tokens carry over to the next phase. So here's a big one. Here's a big one for you guys. So when you think about the claiming process. When it opens up, I think it's going to be Rare Evo. I'll talk about it at the end. Okay, I kind of spoiled it. But Rare Evo is happening in August. Within a month, I could just see this being like, hey, welcome to Rare Evo. Go claim your Midnight, right? At least start, and then it can thaw out, which is kind of cool. I like that glacier drop idea. It's starting to make sense. Okay, so 50% of the supply allocated to ADA holders. Boom. That's a mic drop. That's a moose drop, baby. It's a moose drop, man. So we got 50% allocated to ADA holders. Man, the moose getting loose now, baby. Like, that's what's going on. So, for those of you that have been buying and holding ADA, comment down below. Have you been holding your ADA in a non-custodial fashion, right? Are you like the moose? Do you have 19 hardware wallets, perhaps 40 cold wallets, or hot wallets combined, and you're excited because now you'll be able to claim and you know that you've been using ADA. So I like that. 20% of the supply allocated to BTC holders. So that's massive. So the real, in my opinion, with the Midnight airdrop, we really want to catch a lot of the Bitcoiners, right, in this. So if you're holding Bitcoin, how do we get some people from Bitcoin to get more involved in this Midnight idea, right? So a privacy-focused blockchain that's truly built from the ground up, and really built for large institutions. So when you think about RWAs, real-world assets, that's what we're talking about here. So I like that. I do have some Bitcoin as well, a significant amount. I probably didn't, hold it long enough. Didn't get my Bitcoin allocation early enough, but we'll see. 30% split among holders of ETH, Solana, XRP, BNB, AVAX, and BAT, in proportion to their relative USD value. Okay, so I assume in proportion to the relative USD value for all of them. So if you hold 1,000 ADA, but I hold 20, 40, 50,000 ADA, I'm probably going to be eligible for more. So I would assume in terms of dollar value, when they took the screenshot, that's probably what's going to happen. So the next one here, we have Claim Phase 2, Scavenger Mine. Okay, so I'm reading this for the first time. Hopefully there's nothing inappropriate here, probably not. During this phase, 100% of the unclaimed tokens from the Glacier Drop phase will be processed and, what is that? Apportioned between participants, core network constitution. So Midnight Foundation, Midnight TGE, Reserve on-chain treasury, in the third claim phase. For more details, check out Midnight Tokenomics. Okay, so we'll have more details. I'm going to have to do another video on that. So Scavenger Mine, that's interesting. So perhaps if you guys are delegating to a stake pool, the pool operators will maybe get access to some as well. So let's say you are delegating to a Cardano pool. Actually, we should drop one. I partnered with the Hedges stake pool. So if you guys click on the link tree, this link tree is down in the description below of every video. Okay. So if you guys want, delegate to Hedges pool, we're going to blow this thing up. So I'm definitely excited about that. So yeah, it looks like, yeah, so the unclaimed tokens, if you don't claim your tokens, leftovers will go there. Perfect. So Midnight Foundation, that's the way I would look at that. Claim Phase 3, Lost and Found. The amount of tokens remaining in the Lost and Found pool will be claimable by those Glacier Drop eligible individuals who missed the first claim. Okay, perfect. So the remaining Lost and Found, that will go to those of you that missed the first Glacier Drop. So this is going to be cool. So Phase 1 and 3 is really what I'm excited about because these are free tokens, right? So to get access to a new blockchain, to get tokens early for free, okay? And if you are an ADA holder, it's going to be even better, right? But what I like about it is that it's something new, it's exciting, and I mean, what more can I say about that? So I like that a lot. Next one we got to get into is dual components tokenomics, okay? So we've talked about allocation. Let's get into dual tokenomics right here. So dual component tokenomics. I've talked about it briefly, but there are two tokens, right? There is the night token and dust. So night is the one that you will be claiming, right? So Midnight introduces a composite system where night, the native token, right, continually generates dust, the shielded network resource that powers transactions. So this segregation enables metadata protection and promotes sustainable operations. So just so you guys know as well, I am very dyslexic, so reading this is almost impossible. So I'm heavily caffeinated right now. I'm just a visual guy, so that's why I'm able to pump out content left and right. I communicate. So yeah. Hate comments down below. Moose can't even read. I can read. I read like a first grader. There's no capital expenditure for executing transactions. Night holders can effectively transact on Midnight for free for as long as they hold enough tokens to generate the minimum required dust. So you have night dust. Dust is basically empowering night. Really cool. So we have even more here. Night, the utility token in the main component, driving the Midnight economic system. So I do like this logo. This, man, Moose getting loose, baby. It's been a while since I've been excited about crypto. The market's kind of down right now. We are Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Man, it's looking kind of red. So it's nice to see something like this. Comment down below if you agree. Night utility, generating dust resources to power transactions, promoting network security as block production rewards, enabling decentralized on-chain governance expected, driving ecosystem growth initiatives. So here we go. Maybe we'll even add another time code. Token supply. Ladies and gentlemen, I like this. So 24 billion night tokens minted on Cardano. So that is going to be 50% is going to Cardano. So 24 billion minted on Cardano, which are mirrored on the Midnight network. That is cool. I was talking about how interoperability is going to be the big play in 2025. If that's not interoperability, I don't know what it is. So communications between different blockchains, the use of, just the strategy and the simplicity of being able to mint something on one chain and it mirrors on this chain, that's cool. I like that a lot. That's very innovative. So disinflationary, the expansion of the circulating supply via block rewards shows down over time until the total supply is circulating and no more inflation occurs. So I like that. Seems like they have the inflation under control. It's not like we're pumping out a trillion tokens like a meme coin on Solana. No offense. Non-expendable. So Night is not expendable to execute transactions nor destroyed, burnt during the exercise of its functions. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. Multi-chain. So that makes sense. I know what that means. In contrast with wrapped tokens representations, Night exists natively and maintains the same properties and rights both on Cardano and on Midnight. So cool. So I would believe that if you have Night on ADA and on Midnight, so Midnight is, okay, so there's Midnight as a blockchain. Cardano is a blockchain, right? They're different. If you have Night on Cardano, Night on Midnight, it's the same. Okay, so it's multi-chain. I would assume that it's going to be same, perhaps, with the other EVM chains, or if you have like Night on Ethereum, maybe it's going to operate different. I don't know all the technicalities. I did not build this blockchain, but that makes sense. That makes sense. So Dust, let's talk about Dust. Dust is the shielded and renewable network resource whose single function is to allow users to execute transactions on Midnight. So if you have Dust, it's kind of like your Lovelace. It's kind of like Instead of spending night, you're using dust to power your transactions. So if I were to send you ADA, it's going to cost a little bit of ADA to sign that transaction. Okay. So if I want to send you guys 100 ADA, whoever it may be, then I have to use a little bit of ADA, 0.17, whatever it may be. So that is gas fees, right? That you're more familiar with. Shielded. Dust allows for transactions to take place without exposing metadata. Okay. So this is where it's big, where it's very privacy focused. I'm excited to see what that looks like in the future, right? Consumable. Dust is consumed when used, meaning it is destroyed and does not cycle back into circulation. So when you hold night, I believe you're generating dust, right? So you're holding night, you're generating dust, and yeah, so you're using the dust for transactions, and that's probably the way to keep it private. So anyways, I'm just thinking out loud. I like this. Dust is continually generated by night balances in perpetuity. So really cool. So it is renewable in that sense. Decaying. A dust balance decays when disassociation from the night address that generates it, meaning it cannot act as a store of value. Interesting. So a dust balance decays when disassociated from night address that generates it. Huh. Okay. So the real thing that you want to get here is the night token. Dust is just a way to power it. So really cool. So non-transferable. Dust cannot be transferred between addresses, insulating it from volatility and strengthening its sole utility. So that's the use case for it. I like that. That's very cool. Okay. So how to get night tokens? Again, it is not available. This is not a tutorial on how to get night tokens per se yet. But we will talk about that in a minute. Okay. So, I mean, I know there's this phase. What else do we have here? Should we get into this? I'm just trying to organize the video a little bit. All right, let's go through this first. So timeline. Okay. This is going to go with the how to claim night tokens, right? How to get night. So glacier drop duration is 60 days. So this is the big one. So we already went over this briefly. We don't have to talk about this, but there is some information on here. So let's read what's important. Claimants holding a minimum balance equivalent to $100 in one or more eligible tokens, ADA, BTC, ETH, SOL, BNB, AVAX, or BAT, in their native blockchains based on a random historical snapshot of each, are eligible to participate. So you need a minimum balance of $100, okay? Individual allocations are calculated based on their holdings and on the share of the supply. So they've already done all these calculations. How to claim, you're basically going to go to the how to claim or how to get night. So when this becomes available, this is when it's going to happen. So from to be determined to be determined. I think this is going to be announced very soon. Okay. So it's very simple. We've gone over kind of how it works. Access to the night claim portal. The night claim portal is official user, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, very simple, guys. So as we already talked about it, when this becomes available, I'm going to do a video. You're going to basically get access to the portal. You're going to enter your origin address, enter destination address, accept token distribution terms. So you have to wait for it to get thought out, sign your unique claim. Okay. So we could talk about this forever. Let's go over this. This is really good info. There's so much good stuff here. So during the redemption period, okay, so 360 days. You guys have a year almost. Do not mess this up. Let's see. Yeah, so thawing schedule examples. So the first thaw. So that's part of the glacier drop idea. I do like that. It's kind of cute. Whatever. First thaw, 25% day 1, and then day 25, and then day 90. Okay, so maybe you have 90 days, or at each phase, maybe it's like day one, you get a little bit of the 25%. I don't know. Second thaw is going to be 50%. So that's at 91 days, 115, 180. Then third, then fourth. Okay, so you don't get all your tokens. It's kind of like a vesting period, if you will. All right, so that's basically all the important information there. If you guys want, check it out. I'm going to link this for you guys to check it out. So tokenomics white paper, and then I'll get into final thoughts. If you guys want, you could check out the white paper. I'm going to reach out to Ian Kane. I already did. Like, Ian, let's go. Hang out with the moose. So Ian, if you're watching this video, let's go over the tokenomics together. So there is this white paper. There's tons of information here. 45 pages, okay? So here you're going to get more important information. Here's a key thing. You got night tokens. We've gone over that. 24 billion night tokens minted on Cardano. That is super cool. And we're going to do a full breakdown of this with someone who's much smarter than me. Okay? So if you want, you could check it out. I invite you all to check out the white paper. Final thoughts. Let's get into the final thoughts here. So I'm excited. I thought this was a beauty of a post. It's got the moose loose. And ultimately, if we were to break this down, it gets me excited. And I can't help but to think that this is going to get started. This is going to, you know, the first claim process, Rare Evo. What would be a better place than to announce this at Rare Evo? Hopefully the market goes up. Guys, in the meantime, stake your ADA to the Hedges stake pool. Set up a Lace wallet. I don't know who else to help you. Who else is helping you guys out more than this on Cardano? So that being said, the moose is loose. Also pick up a hardware wallet. Use code MOOSE. Tangent, baby. Support the channel. I'm running ads on this. Cheers. Thank you.